Once upon a time, two friends joined forces to bring you the best in horror entertainment. Brian from the north, Tim from the south, each bringing their own unique perspective to the horror community. Movie reviews, Blu-ray releases, beer pairings, games, and more. Welcome to your new home for horror. This is Civil Gore.
Hey there, everybody. Welcome to our June 2022 Discmemberment. This is the Civil Gore Podcast. I'm your host, Tim.
And this is Brian, and this. I hope you like this episode because this is all you're getting this week. Due to some various illnesses and technical difficulties, we decided to just instead of rushing out 2 episodes, we figured since you're getting a nice long dismemberment, we're just gonna do that. Well, actually, I don't know how long it is, but you're getting a nice dismemberment. We figured that'll be good enough, and then we'll go back to our regular episodes next week. And then following that, I think we're almost actually about to start our summer vacation soon too, so we gotta get that planned and going and make sure we have that organized because that's gonna be a fun one. We'll announce this full specifics of that in the next week or so, I think.
All right, well, let's get right into it. These are our Blu-ray releases for the week of June 7th. First up, from 88 Films, we have a disc called Human Lanterns from 1982. A psychotic craftsman pits 2 rival kung fu masters against each other while designing special lanterns from a disturbing source. And my little comment here was this looked like Big Trouble in regular China.
Yeah, and I added with Crouching Tiger, Hidden Slasher.
Yeah, pretty much.
It looks like a bunch of people getting sliced up. And I got to tell you, I like the... It didn't seem like it was from 82, though. It almost looked like it was from the 90s, I have to say. But the thing is, it seems like it's a cool title, I think, and it looks like a kind of like it might be fun to watch if you're into, especially if you're into that kind of kung fu movies. I think you'll probably get a kick out of it. And I think 88 Films is a new film company for us. I don't think we've seen them yet.
I don't remember seeing those yet. No.
There's really no extras, right?
Yeah, no extras on this one.
Yeah, so all you get is the Human Lanterns on this one. But it might be a bright part of your week there. Oh, that I messed that up. The simplest joke, I botched it. Yeah, that's what happens when you don't record for a week. Okay. Next week's our pick of the week, so I'll skip. Next one is Trauma and Combat Shock, 1984. Was this the one on Joe Bob? Or there was one similar to Joe Bob played once? I don't know.
I don't remember this one because I did not recognize the trailer.
Yeah, there was another Trauma one I think that he did that was kind of like this, but I don't think this was it either. Anyway, this is called Combat Shock from 1984. It's a dangerously disturbed Vietnam veteran struggles with life 15 years after his return home and slowly falls into insanity from his gritty urban lifestyle. Yeah, Tim and I both had kind of the same agreement. He said, looks insane only the way Trauma can, and I said, this trailer is how to say it's Trauma film without saying it's a Trauma film.
Yeah. They
have a signature. Let's put it this way. You can pretty much tell you're watching a Trauma film from any point in the movie you join.
if you're mildly offended the entire time you're watching the trailer, that's pretty much a Trauma film.
Yep, and you know what? We love them for that.
Yes.
Yeah, good old Lloyd Kaufman deserves his little pizza.
Love it. Next up from our friends at RLJ Entertainment, we have The Feast from 2021. This is one I really, really want to see. Love the trailer.
Looks cool.
Filmed in Welsh, the picture follows a young woman serving privileged guests at a dinner party in a remote house in rural Wales. The assembled guests do not realize they are about to eat their last supper.
Yeah, or as Tim wrote, last sup.
Last sup. Yeah, I don't know. I just copy and paste these things.
Yeah. And also, did Billy Crystal write this review? Because he always says that. He'll be like, oh, it's a wonderful picture. It's a wonderful picture starring Barry Pepper. That's why it's like... When they said the picture follows, when you hear that, like that's old school.
That's old school Hollywood right there.
Yeah, the motion pictures.
Put the kid in the picture.
Yeah, put him in there with Barry Pepper. Okay, that joke will never get old. Next one is that's funny, Tim. You couldn't find the trailer, but it's because it was a sneaky little AKA that's not really always an AKA like on the disc. But the only reason I knew this is because it happens to be on the full moon. Streaming service right now. So I may have actually watched the whole thing. I can't remember. I know I started to. I don't remember if I finished it. But anyway, it's Gore in Venice, or AKA Giallo in Venice, and it's 1979. You know what? I say it differently every time. I know it's Giallo. Some people say Giallo. Just probably Giallo. But right? Do we ever get the exact pronunciation, like the official film historian pronunciation?
I think it's technically Giallo, but I like to say Jello.
Right? Jello,
like
yeah.
Pudding pop.
Yeah, he's not really good to
put the
like
Jello in the Venice.
Yeah,
So-
and we no way endorse Bill Cosby, by the way. That is just for the pure
the
Saturday Night
podcast.
Live imitation and
The really
his
bad
jello-
imitation. That's just for
yeah.
that.
Like, "Woo-doo-doo." The best was like the Cosby Mysteries that Sandler did. Remember
Yes.
that? He was like, woo-doo-doo. Yeah, that was classic. So he deserves the mockery. Anyway, this one, in Venice, a detective is on the trail of a killer who commits a double murder. A married couple. Okay, thank you. The more grisly killings occur. Sex, drugs, gore, and perversions are ingredients of the sadistic and sleazy jello. Or sleazy jello. Now that sounds like more like Bill Cosby. There we go.
Oh,
Sorry.
Oh, the
Couldn't
first one
resist
with
that
the
one.
extras too, by the way.
Yeah, look at that. I wrote that's Full Moon. Yeah, it's really graphic from what I remember. The scene. Anyway, it's remastered from the best available elements. I'm not sure that that's
That's
a
not
new
high
one.
praise. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they just grabbed every piece of this movie they could find, and that's the best. It's got the fully uncut version of the film, so that's probably if you like a lot of sex pervasions and all that. I guess it's perversion. What was that? Remember it was Eugene Levy and Splash. Remember, it's all sex, perversion, and all fabrication. But yeah, so we're really hitting the bottom of the barrel here with imitations today. But anyway, it's fully uncut version of the film and the original trailers. So it's the trailers that Tim couldn't find or on
Yes,
the disc.
yeah,
That's
the
why you
ones-
couldn't find them.
Yeah, they're on the disc.
Yeah.
This next one up is actually on my watch list because I'm doing a Dario Argento project, and I've
Nice.
watched the first 3, which is considered his Animal trilogy. Over the weekend, I watched The Bird with the Crystal Plumage, Cat O' Nine Tails, which is
Oh my God! Finally.
a great inside joke for Civil War, and then Four Flies on Grey Velvet, and they're all really, really good. I think, and I'll talk about this more in our next episode, but Bird with the Crystal Plumage is definitely the scariest of the 3. It's kind of the more horror bent. Cat O' Nine Tails has the great Carl Malden in it, and it's really entertaining. I like that one a lot, but it's not. I wouldn't call that one necessarily scary. And then Four Flies on Grey Velvet again kind of leans more towards the thriller than the horror piece, but those are really good. I'm really enjoying going back through those. But this is another Dario Argento project, and this was a more mainstream title, The Phantom of the Opera from 1998. This was being released by Scorpion Releasing. In Paris, 1877, rats save a baby from death and raise him in the underground of the Opera de Paris. This child becomes the Phantom of the Opera, a half-human, half-animal breed who falls in love with Christine Day, an opera singer just beginning her career. He fights for her love against the aristocratic Baron Raoul de Chagny, though Christine loves them both equally. Stupid French name. I don't know. I can't pronounce them. This one looks pretty good. It looks like it has, the later incarnations of the Phantom of the Opera, obviously due to the musical, are less horror and more romance and musical. Yeah. This one looks like it kind of embraced sort of the horror side, which I really liked. I'm looking forward to watching this one. It does have some good extras here. It's previously remastered. Audio commentary by our friends, film critics Troy Howarth and Nathaniel Thompson, who you, of course, know turn into Statler and Waldorf. Interview with writer-director Dario Argento, interview with set designer Antonello Galing, and interview with producer Giuseppe Colombo.
Nice. Oh, quick question. I meant to ask you, the Crystal Plumage, that was a book, right, originally? Or am I thinking of something else?
I don't know. I don't know that. Possibly. Yeah, possibly.
Yeah, because I thought I remember there being a book.
There's a good story about it. I mean, it's a good plot.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I gotta look into that. Next one is VCI. This is a big one here. So it's a bloody 70s horror double feature. It sounds like something ripely made for Tim, I think.
Oh, and I will say the first title Brian's about to announce is currently on Shudder. They just released on Shudder.
Oh, it is. That's right.
Yeah.
I thought it looked familiar.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So, and this is from 1972 to 1975, so it's a very succinct section of the 70s, apparently. And it's Mary, Mary, Bloody Mary. Where does your garden grow? Oh, no, sorry. That's something different. Okay, so this is a beautiful American artist named, are you ready for it? Mary, who just so
Spoiler
happens...
alert.
I know, spoiler alert. Don't get... I hope I didn't ruin it for you. Who just so happens to be a vampire living in Mexico. As authorities baffled and in full investigation after her lust for blood has left a trail of bodies across the country. Attempting to elude detection by the authorities, Mary tries to maintain a love relationship with an American expatriate while still trying to satisfy her growing appetite and need for human sustenance. Things become even more complicated and terrifying for Mary when her vampire father comes on the scene. Wrought with his own heinous compulsions, her father is determined to stop his legacy before it totally consumes his daughter, and he intends to do this even if it means killing her.
Yeah. Now, this next one is not to be confused with the other Blood Feast. This one is an AKA, and I think the other title was something like Night of the Cats or something like that.
Oh yeah, Night of a Thousand Cats.
Night of a Thousand Cats.
Yeah, this Blood Feast it's not the Herschel Walker. Is it Herschel?
Herschel Gordon Lewis.
Thank you.
Yes.
Oh my God, I'm like talking about word salad. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Herschel Gordon Lewis. See, I'm too consumed with the frightening world of politics right now. Stuck in my head. Anyway. So yeah. So this one, Blood Feast, it says Hugo, a twisted cat lover who also collects weapons and other macabre objects as a pastime, uses another pastime of picking up and scoring with beautiful women, as means to sustain his massive horde of the animals. I'm not sure what one has to do with the other. I guess he feeds it to him. I see. What is it? Okay. The routine is, once Hugo brings some women home with him, he is done with them. His mute and creepy butler, Dorgo, takes over. At some point, Dorgo slips and angers Hugo with his ending. What? Oh, with this ending in Dorgo having a similar fate as the women. So, I guess you don't have to watch the movie anymore.
No, you're right.
Hugo soon finds himself at the mercy of his angry horde when his efforts to rid himself of his latest conquest are foiled.
My favorite line of this trailer was, "We'll turn your blood to ice for the devil's cocktail."
Yeah, I feel like the devil's cocktail was what I had in college because, when you next day you start throwing up something evil, I think that's like the devil's cocktail. And Night of a Thousand Cats, or AKA Blood Feast, the thing at the end, they're like, where it's like they're like, "Don't worry" or something. The theater will offer burial service if you want, or something like that. And I'm like, what? What kind of promo is that? I mean, it's like
that's an all-service theater.
Yeah, if the cats eat you anyway, why would you need a burial service? Wouldn't you just be like, what do you do? When you throw in the compost, wouldn't you just be compost at that point? I don't know.
I mean, I love my cats, but I have no doubt if I died, they would eat me. I just have no doubt.
Yeah, I told Obi he could eat me if I died, and if something happened to us, and he needed to survive, he could eat Julie and I if we died. Well, I would want him to starve. I would want Obi to live on and go to a good home with a full belly. So,
all right, next up from Rising Sun Media, we have Dead County from last year. Loneliness can be a killer. It's been weeks since Wendell has talked to anybody, and even longer since he's seen anyone who doesn't want to eat him. Friendship is hard to come by in the best of times, but in the apocalypse, beggars can't be choosers. So when Wendell crosses paths with Alex, who is searching for a rumored safe zone, the unlikely duo work together to keep their hope of survival alive against both the living and the dead. And this is another low-budget zombie flick, and I know there's some great zombie movies still coming out, and I know Jeff Whitmire just was really raving about
that one we promoted, yeah.
That one we promoted. I'm looking forward to that, but this one, the trailer, I'm sorry, honestly, just didn't do much for me. It looked a little more along the typical lines.
Yeah, no, these are the ones that I'm sick of, essentially. Yeah. These are the ones that I'm like, all right, already. I mean, we could be wrong if we see it. Maybe there's something we didn't see, and it's just a bad trailer. But, when you see movies such as some of the Train to Busan and the one the Sadness, stuff like that, you have the bar set really high. I don't know. Sometimes you can't. Low budget zombie movies these days are just not going to cut it. I think is the problem.
This does have some extras on it. Has an audio commentary, bloopers, behind the scenes featurette, and some trailers. And that brings us to our pick of the week that Brian will take.
Yes, and this is Synapse Films, The Living Dead at Manchester Morgue from 1974. And we both agreed on this one, of course. It's two traveling companions, George, Ray Lovelock of Autopsy, and Edna, Christine Galbo of The Killer Must Kill Again, come across a small town infested with the living dead that are satisfying their cannibalistic hunger on anyone they come across. Discovering that an agricultural machine using radiation waves is at the root of all the havoc, George and Edna fight for their survival and their innocence as they are pursued by a relentless detective, Arthur Kennedy of the Antichrist and Fantastic Voyage, who is convinced they are responsible for the ghoulish acts of violence plaguing the countryside. And this actually looks really cool, this trailer. This is a really cool looking movie here. And I know you thought the trailer was great too, right?
Well, I'm really obsessed with movies from my birth year, so I love 1974 films, and this one I believe I've seen. It's been a while. I have to go back and double check, but I love the old 70s zombie films, and this one looks really, really, really fun.
Yeah, and so this has some really nice features on it too. It's got the exclusive new 4K restoration for the original 35mm camera negative, new 5.1 English stereo surround mix made exclusively for the Synapse Films release. It's got 2 audio commentaries and look who the 3 it is. It's featuring authors and critics Troy Howard, Nathaniel Thompson, and Bruce Holchek. When formed together, they become the Stygian witches, which never not cracks me up. And it's all your brother's fault.
I don't know why that makes me laugh every time.
It's your brother's fault because, I mean, I remember them, but, like, until he brought them up during his own podcast, of course, Fox and the Foxhound, that, like, it cracked me up, and, like, so I was, like, waiting to just be able to use that to our podcast, so I'm glad we got the opportunity, much to the chagrin of probably Troy, Nathaniel, and Bruce, but anyway, restoration of the true original English language theatrical monomix, George Grau, Catalonia's cut film king, 89 minutes, I guess. Oh, this is a extensive feature-length documentary, explores the life and films of director George Grau. The scene of the crime, Gianetto De Rossi in discussion from Manchester, 16 minutes, and Gianetto De Rossi Q&A at the Festival of Fantastic Films in the UK, and that's a 43-minute little segment, and it's got a theatrical trailer, TV spots, and radio spots.
Yeah, that looks like a fun disc. I think that's...
I'd love to take a poll on if anyone actually listens to the radio spots that appear on these discs. I think I did on, like, some of the big ones, like the Friday the 13th discs, even though I stopped after the first 2 discs so far. I got to get back to go reviewing that big set.
Yeah.
On that, I did every single thing because I want to do a full extensive review eventually. So I've listened to everything, watched everything. I even went through every slideshow on that. So I'm doing a complete thing.
I do it. I completely finish every disc.
Nice.
But that's why I'm also like 89 disc in the hole.
Yeah. And then when Tim's done, he devours them.
That's right. Yes.
So there's no remnants left of the disc. He truly finishes it.
All right. So to recap the week of June 7th, we had Human Lanterns from 1982, Troma's Combat Shock from 1984, The Feast from 2021, Gore in Venice, aka Giallo in Venice from 1979, Dario Argento's The Phantom of the Opera in 1998, Bloody 70s Horror Double Feature featuring Mary Mary Bloody Mary and Blood Feast, aka Night of a Thousand Cats. Those were from 72 and 75 respectively, and then Dead County from 2021. Our pick of the week, The Living Dead at Manchester Morgue from 1974, a great disc from Synapse of that title, and that brings us to the week of June 14th, which I believe is our biggest. Nope, our June 21st will be our biggest week, but this one's another 6-disc release week. And the first one up is from Severin Films, All About Evil from 2010. Deborah Tennis inherits her father's beloved but failing old movie theater. In order to save the family business, she discovers her inner serial killer and a legion of rabid gore fans. This one definitely had some popcorn vibes, which we recently covered, just because it's an old theater and kind of takes place in this old theater. Look pretty cool. I kind of want to watch it. It has a recent Saturday Night Live host.
Natasha Lyonne is in it. Yeah, and Cassandra Peterson, of course. Elvira is in there. But she's as Cassandra Peterson. She's not Elvira in it in any way. But I will say, though, I'm going to talk more about it when I finish. I'm almost done, but her biography is just one of the best biographies I've ever read.
Yeah, I actually I had some credits, so I actually downloaded the audiobook so I could listen to it.
Oh, did she read it?
And she narrates it, so that's been really entertaining. I've been listening to that.
Oh, I wonder if I could sign in and listen to it. I want to hear it. If not, maybe I'll just download it.
Yeah.
I kind of want to listen to that. That sounds cool. Real quick, too, about this movie before we go. It says Deborah Tennis, is that all her fault that all this bad stuff happened in there? Or... Come on, I volleyed to you on that one, Tim, and you didn't hit it back.
No, I didn't. Sorry.
Yeah. Every time I'd say, lob Tim a joke, and he just doesn't return it.
All right, moving right along. We need to move right along after that.
Yes, okay, we got to get out of there. I'll see myself out.
This one's yours. This one's your, Brian. Now you're responsible for this next one.
Oh, yeah, I am. See? RLJ Entertainment Off-Season 2021. I think this just hit Shudder, or it's about to hit Shudder. It says, after receiving a mysterious letter, a woman travels to a desolate island town and soon becomes trapped in a nightmare. It looked really good. I thought we had to screen into this. Maybe we didn't. Maybe I just saw it listed for Shudder. I'm not sure. But either way, it looks pretty cool.
Yeah. No extras on that one.
No extras, yeah.
Although RLJ Entertainment does have some disc with extras, so
they
don't
kind
write
of
them off
sometimes
completely.
Yeah, no, and sometimes they don't like list them, but then they're there when you buy the disc.
Yeah,
because there's a couple that I bought, and I don't remember there being extras when we announced it, and then I looked, and there's like 6 extras on the back of the disc. So I think they're just not good at promoting their extras. You can criticize them for that, I guess.
Next up from IFC Films, We Need to Do Something! From 2021. After Melissa and her family seek shelter from a storm, they become trapped. With no sign of rescue, hours turn to days, and Melissa comes to realize that she and her girlfriend Amy might have something to do with the horrors that threaten to tear her family and the entire world apart. This one, the trailer looked interesting. It looked like maybe like a cross between Twister and The Mist.
It's like a kind of one of those decent disaster films kind of thing.
Yeah, but I don't know. I haven't sat down to watch this one yet. But no extras on this one either.
Yeah, this next one here we can only give you limited because we couldn't find the trailer either on these two. Or is this oh no, it's 2 movies actually. Yeah. It's by Mondo Macabro, and that's The Bushwhacker, not to be confused with the Bushwhackers from the old WWF days. Butch and Luke, and also The Ravager. So it's from 68 to 70. It says The Ravager and the Bushwhacker represent the last hurrah for the rough and tumble 60s style sexploitation before hardcore sex films completely took over the market. In lieu of graphic sex, exploitation films in this era leaned on violence to give the audience the sick thrills they were looking for. This might be one of my favorite descriptions yet. These 2 films are basically the last gasp, the final push on the envelope of this genre towards more extreme horror-oriented fare. And in this, they were perhaps too extreme for the Raincoat Brigade. What is that? What is that? I picture is that that scene, like Madeline, that little thing where they're all running in the raincoats? Is that the Raincoat Brigade?
I don't were they insinuating people that watched these were like flashers that were in the raincoats?
I know. Maybe they just they wore now, is that like the yellow raincoat, like the Slickers, or is it like those like the beltless trench coat that like Morty Seinfeld used to sell, the executive? Is it what? I need to know more about this Raincoat Brigade. Anyone that knows about that, let us know, because I want to know what this is and why is it a brigade? Like, did they come after you or something? I don't know. Anyway, after their brief theatrical runs, obviously you know nothing about either of these films. After their brief theatrical runs, both disappeared for decades until unearthed by Something Weird Video in the 2000s. This actually has some decent extras here. It's got 2 2K remasters of both films struck from 35mm prints, missing gore scenes in standard definition from The Bushwhacker, reinstated, making this the most complete version of the film ever presented on video. Trailers for both films, a selection of trailers from the SWV Vault, booklet with brand new essay on The Ravager by Cinema Sewers, Robin Boogie, or Bougie. Oh, is it Bougie? Oh no, is it Bougie from, oh no, that's from, Amityville Mount Misery Road. She's back. Robin Bougie. No, she was just Bougie, not Robin Bougie. Postcards reproducing rare ad for art for both films and reversible cover, both sides unique to this release.
Very nice. Next one up, not to be confused with Kramer versus Kramer. This is Mondo Macabro's Strangler versus Strangler from 1984. Yes.
Dustin Hoffman turned down this role, by
the
way. So.
A deranged flower seller is strangling women on the streets of Belgrade. Their crime in his eyes being that they refuse to buy his carnations. A local new wave rock musician becomes obsessed with the case and releases a single dedicated to the Belgrade Strangler. Gradually, the 2 men find themselves drawn towards each other, leading to a very surprising climax. So,
I don't know about this one. This one's weird. What the ever loving hell was this trailer?
It's very 80s. Very 80s.
It was just a lot of 80s music and in French, no less, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know. Oh, by the way, just because I liked it, I didn't even want to wait. I needed to find out. So I've actually looked up, I Googled Raincoat Brigade, and on Wiktionary, it says, Raincoat Brigade, a generic group of men interested in sleaze or pornography, dirty old men.
It's nice. Okay.
So wouldn't you figure if they were dirty old men, they would leave their raincoats off so they get cleaned? I don't know.
I just still have the cartoon Flasher image going on in my mind.
Yeah, I know, right? I think we need to create a horror movie called The Raincoat Brigade. Yeah.
All right. Well, next up is our pick of the week, and Brian gets to take this one again.
Oh boy, lucky me. This one is Hotel Fear by Mondo Macabro from 1978. It says a young girl and her mother run a hotel during the war. When the mother dies, the girl finds herself at the mercy of her sex-crazed guests. That's a little disturbing. Soon enough, a cloaked figure starts killing everyone off that tries to harm her. In a raincoat, no less. No, I added that. But it was 1978, right? What was the other thing? Was it? Oh no, it was much earlier. Okay, so yeah, this was when sex took over. So the Raincoat Brigade was around already. I guess they produced this film. Yeah, and it like it's crazy 70s horror. So Tim's here for it, and I pointed out that once again, every 70s horror trailer usually seems to, especially Italian horror trailers, seem to have boobs in it.
Yes,
and
every time.
This does not. Stray from that one. You don't want to piss off the Rainbow Brigade, Raincoat Brigade. I can't even speak anymore. Word salad. Okay. New 2K restoration of the film from the original camera negative. New interview with director Francesco Barilli. Does he make the pasta? That's Barilli. Sorry. New interview with actor Luke Miranda. Archive interview for Francesco Barilli. Audio commentary by Fragments of Fear. Another probably a podcast that let us out.
Yes.
Forgot to. Kept us out of the thing. Peter Gilmstad and Rachel Nisbet. Alternate scenes, trailer, and Mondo Macabro previews.
All right, so to recap the week of June 14th, we had All About Evil from 2010, Off Season from 2021, We Need to Do Something from 2021, The Bushwhacker / The Ravager from Mondo Macabro, 1968 to 1970, and Strangler vs. Strangler, 1984. Our pick of the week, Mondo Macabro's Hotel Fear from 1978. And we also had a reissue of the Final Destination 5 film collections coming out that week as well.
Yeah. And by the way, I think We Need to Do Something is pretty much probably what all our listeners probably say once a week when they listen to our episodes. we need to do something about this podcast.
Yes. All right. So next up, our rare week where we differed on the pick of the week, which is good.
Yeah. But there's a reason behind it, and I'll explain. So
yeah. So first up, we're going to skip those two and go straight into MVD Visuals' Vampire's Kiss from 1988. Of course, starring Nicolas Cage, or Ick Age if you are a Kim and Ket listener.
Yes, Ick Age, we like to call him.
After an encounter with a neckbiter, a publishing executive thinks that he's turning into a vampire. This is, of course, the movie that's responsible for many of the Nicolas Cage memes out there.
Yes, that point one is from that.
Yeah.
Lots of the... Yeah, this is basically a... with the exception of the bees one, this is like 90% of your Nick Cage memes.
Yeah, this is a great
from here.
Great film. Previously prepared master provided by MGM. Audio commentary with actor Nicolas Cage and director Robert Bierman.
Get in the cage. Sorry.
Photo gallery, original theatrical trailer, TV spot, and collectible mini poster and reversible artwork.
Yeah, that's got to be fun. Can you imagine listening to a full commentary from Ick Age?
Yes, I'm sure it's amazing.
Yes, and by the way, they were just talking. One of the recent Kim and Kets when they did Willy's Wonderland, they told the whole story again. That I just had hysterics of why they came up with Ick Age in the first place, and it just cracks me up. And because the story, I guess, for those who are listening, it was because I guess Kim was dating someone that only referred to the second half of his name as if you go by Drew for Andrew instead of Andy, or Bert instead of Robert, or Im instead of Tim, or Ian instead of Brian. You get the point. But anyway, to me that was hysterical, and so that whole sequence, because the way I could just see Kim being annoyed by that, because I think we've gotten to know them pretty well over the years, so it's I think we could kind of already tell what would annoy them and what wouldn't. So yeah, that was great. Anyway. Next up is from the film Detective. I think we've had one of them before, but anyway, this is this is The Brain from Planet Arus from 1957.
I like to say it Arouse.
Arouse.
That makes it a different movie, though.
Yeah, because then it'll be interesting to the Raincoat Brigade. What a thing this started now. Oh boy. Do you think Steve Cohn was part of the Raincoat Brigade? I don't
know. Possibly.
I could see him being. We got to ask him. Next time I'm over his house, I'll go look in his closet, see if I see a whole bunch of old raincoats. We'll ask him. Poor Cohn. Anyway, a powerful criminal brain from the planet, or I'll say Arouse, because Tim likes it that way. Okay, powerful brain of the great. Gore assumes the body of the scientist Steve March. Through March, Is it through March? It sounds like from January to March. He was No.
You don't know how much that sentence confused me until I went back and read that the guy's name was March.
Yeah, I tell you, Tim, and remember, Tim does not adjust these in any way. He literally copies and pastes, so yes. it inadvertently gives us some joy,
yes.
some comedic presence here that we may normally not have had.
I was like, he's only threatening the world through March? Like, what's the
deadline?
It's
like, what a lazy bastard. Only one quarter of the year. That's all he does. I mean, like, he should be easily taken over. Just lay low from April to December. Anyway, through March, I can't get over this. I can't get through it. Through March, he begins to control the world by threatening destruction to any country challenging his domination. Another brain, Val, works with March's future wife, Sally, to defeat Gore. I don't even understand this anymore. Val explains that Gore will be vulnerable when he is forced to leave March at intervals to re-energize. Gore's vulnerable spot, the Fisher of Orlando. That figures Florida, right? Got to throw Florida into this mess. If there's any state that deserves to be in the middle of a mess, it's Florida. Sorry. The Fisher of Orlando is described in a note left by Sally in Steve's lab. I think I could read that again and again and again, and I still wouldn't know what the heck this movie's about.
Well, the trailer's not going to help you.
No, the trailer looked like a typical 50s horror film. I mean, they're usually fun, but I want to know. I might have to watch this just to figure this out and how Florida plays into this. Anyway, it's got a lot of commentary here. So, a lot of special features. It's got a new 4K restoration of the film, new introduction by star Joyce Meadows, of course. For that, I guess that's the Honeymooners, Joyce Meadows, right?
I suppose, yeah, I assume.
Yeah, why not? It is now. And then we got, this is interesting. We got new audio commentary track by historians Tom Weaver, David Schechter, who are filming words, but Larry Blameyer. And so I'm going to explain them. So, of course, you remember Tom Weaver is the upbeat, nice guy, likes to hang out at the beach and go to the Regal Beagle.
Yes.
And he once invited 3 random guys he met at the beach to join him on a commentary. Those guys were Phil Sunburn Benson, Marty Martin, and John Voight, the chiropractor, not the actor or dentist. Then we have David Schechter, and of course, he writes a really good blog entitled The Private Schechter. But our new person, which is Larry Blameyer, he's just like our friend Jeff Whitmire. But Larry writes parody songs as well, but only about, instead of horror, they're about things that start with the letters B and L. So, yeah, I don't.
Wow.
I think I stretched on that one, but
it's a new one. We haven't had a new one in a while. So
I'm a little rusty on that. And plus, after reading that commentary, God knows what I would come up with anyway. There's also new The Man Before the Brain, director Nathan Jurin, original Ballyhoo Motion Pictures production. Ballyhoo. Tell me there's not Ballyhoo Motion Pictures is not such an old classic movie production company title, right? Ballyhoo.
Yeah, that's great.
Ballyhoo's fun. They don't ballyhoo enough anymore. I think they need to throw that word back into the rotation of things. Anyway, new Man Behind the... Oh, wait, no, I did that one. Full color booklet with original essay by author historian Tom Weaver. He's back. Now he's writing while he was at the Regal Beagle. Must have had a longer happy hour than normal, so he kind of stayed and decided to write a little booklet.
All right, next up from RLJ Entertainment, we have one we covered recently, The Cellar from 2022. Yeah. Kira Wood's daughter mysteriously vanishes in the cellar of their new house. She soon discovers there's an ancient and powerful entity controlling their home that she will have to face or risk losing her family's souls forever. So if you want to hear our review of that one, go back and listen a few episodes ago. This one has... Save
yourself from watching
yes. Interviews with the Cellar cast and crew, the Cellar VFX before and after, director and producer commentary, and the 10 Steps short film and commentary.
Okay, so we have next The Initiation of Sarah from 1978, and that's an Arrow release. So you're going to get some a decent disc with this. So withdrawn young girl joins an unpopular sorority in college. It turns out she has psychic and telekinetic powers, and she uses them against a rival sorority. So it's like Carrie and goes to college, apparently. I only found the full movie on this. I know Tim couldn't find the trailer either. I tried, but so if you want to watch the full movie, it's on YouTube apparently. But anyway, it's a 2K restoration from the original 35mm camera negative by Arrow Films. Brand new audio commentary, but now look at this. She got a new thing. She was just a film historian, but now she's TV movie expert. Amanda Reyes. Of course, she has all those weird facts. That's what her claim to fame is about people who liked Earl Grey tea, the whole thing, and I don't.
She was great on the. She was on the Night Gallery disc, and she was really good.
Yeah, and I saw her on something else. She was on some other disc that I had. She was on. She did a good job. Anyway, yeah. So, welcome to Hell Week, a pledge's guide to the initiation of Sarah, a brand new appreciation by film critic Stacy Ponder, and so she's a critic yet, so she doesn't get a thing. But I have a good one for her if she ever. Decides to become a film historian. And queer horror programmer Anthony Hudson, co-host of the Gaylords of Darkness podcast, celebrating the film through a queer feminist lens. Speaking of that, there's I think that documentary is coming out on Shudder soon. That little queer horror film series is coming out. They think it starts this month, towards the end of the month. So that's supposed to be really good.
Okay.
Looking forward to checking that one out. Cracks in the Sisterhood, a second wave feminism and the initiation of Sarah, a brand new visual essay by film critic and historian Alexander Heller Nicholas. I forgot her. She's a saucy little minx, right?
Yes, I think so. Yeah.
And she kind of like I actually saw her do a commentary. She was on the I think she was on the found footage documentary. I think I saw her, and she's close. She's one of the ones we got pretty close. I think the film historians. I don't know. The Imitations of Sarah, a brand new interview with film critic Samantha McLaren, looking at witchcraft, empowerment, TV movies, and telekinetic shy girls post Carrie. Oh, see, they're acknowledging the Carrie collection.
Yeah.
The Initiation of Tom, a brand new interview with Tom Holland on his first film writing credit. Oh, that's probably a cool little interview there. Image Gallery, a reversible sleeve featuring newly commissioned artwork by Luke Insect.
Okay.
We don't want to bug him too much. Okay. First pressing only, fully illustrated collector's booklet featuring new writing by Lindsay Hallam and Alexandra West.
All right. Next up from Arrow. This one could have been a pick of the week in another week.
It was close because this trailer looks. Oh my God, this looks phenomenal. Wait, is Touchstone Pictures starting? What's going on over there?
My ring camera's going off again.
Yeah, wow.
So next up, I think Anthony Perkins is trying to break into my house.
He is. Touchstone Pictures and Anthony Perkins are trying to come into Tim's studio.
This is an Arrow release, Edge of Sanity from 1989. Legendary actor Anthony Perkins, Psycho, is perfect, quote unquote, from LA Herald Examiner, as an outwardly rational Dr. Jekyll who rapidly descends into a world of sexual obsession and murder as Mr. Hyde, who may also be Jack the Ripper. A shocking new twist on one of the most infamous crime stories of all time. This terrifying thriller will keep you on the cutting edge of fear. After a lab experiment unleashes mysterious fumes, Dr. Henry Jekyll undergoes a horrifying transformation into a savage alter ego who calls himself Jack Hyde. Meanwhile, the depraved killer, Jack the Ripper, is slicing his way through the alleys of Whitechapel, leaving mutilated streetwalkers in his wake. Is there a connection between Jekyll Hyde and Jack the Ripper? And can anyone stop his reign of terror?
What a cool premise.
It's a good premise, and it's a cool trailer. I love seeing Anthony Perkins. And this one has some great extras on it. This is why I almost made this my pick of the week.
This was close.
New 2K restoration from the original 35mm camera negative by Arrow Films. Brand new audio commentary by writer David Flint and author and filmmaker Sean Hogan. Over the Edge, a brand new interview with Stephen Thrower, author of Nightmare USA, who is he goes in and out of film historianship with us. Jack Jekyll and Other Screen Psychos, a brand new interview with Dr. Claire Smith, author of Jack the Ripper in Film and Culture. French Love, a career-spanning interview with director Gerard Coquine.
Why is the last M capital?
I don't know.
That's almost like Kim Burns would hate that because it seems like it's like emphasizing the last part of the name.
I'm going to say Coquine because I don't like that. Staying Sane.
Oh, you know what, Tim? I think that M is completely a mistake, period. Because look at the next.
Yeah, the next one. Yeah, I think I don't know what the I thing is. There's some like umlauts over the I. Staying Sane, Gerard Coquine discusses Edge of Sanity. That guy's going to hunt me down. Original theatrical trailer, reversible sleeve featuring original and newly commissioned artwork by Graham Humphreys, and first pressing only illustrated collector's booklet featuring new writing on the film by John Towson. I'm actually in the middle of an audiobook, which is very interesting. But I love Jack the Ripper. There was a great book called Everyone Knows Jack. And it's a book positing the theory that there was no Jack the Ripper. That the murder...
I've heard that theory a bunch. A lot of people are saying that there really wasn't like a quote-unquote Jack the Ripper, and it's like they kind of made... I don't know if that's the same thing where they made it up to just cover the...
Yeah, that it was like multiple different murders. And
that they couldn't figure it out, so they just kind of made it as one.
Yeah, it's a very, very interesting book. A very interesting take on it, because I've read a lot of Jack the Ripper theories and stuff, and that one's really, really interesting to me, so...
Yeah. Also, I think we need to, now that you mentioned it a couple times, I think we need to get Jeff Whitmire to make a song about umlauts where he goes, umlaut, ba, ba, boo. No, sorry. Okay. Yeah, I think even Jeff Whitmire would turn that one down. Yes. He'd be like, no, sorry. I took your other ideas. That one's I'm drawing the line with a Hanson parody. Sorry, I can't do it. Anyway, the last one before our picks of the week are Forced Entry from Dark Force Entertainment, 1976. Horror thriller about a psychotic mechanic whose history of childhood abuse at the hands of his mother lead to murderous rage against women. Where have you heard that? That's like half the plots in the 80s.
Yeah, really.
And this one's 70s, so they obviously... kept mimicking a lot of that plot points. So when he ends up falling for one of his potential victims, a terrified but resourceful woman manages to manipulate his amorous feelings so she can escape. Previously remastered, and it's got the alternate VHS version.
Jeez.
That's a weird thing. That's 88 minutes long.
All right, well, we'll go to our picks of the week. I'll do mine. This one is from Blue Underground. Uncle Sam 4K from 1997. It's 4th of July weekend, and the recently discovered corpse of Sergeant Sam Harper, killed by friendly fire during the First Gulf War, is returned to his all-American hometown. But when Sam rises from the dead to punish the unpatriotic, only his young nephew and a bitter Korean War veteran can stop his red-blooded rampage. Draft dodgers, tax cheats, crooked politicians, and flag burners beware. Uncle Sam wants you dead. And this one, don't dismiss this one. This one has one of the cheesy box cover arts you remember.
It's great.
It's classic. It looks so throwaway, but it's actually really, really entertaining. That's the reason I picked it for my pick of the week. I was really surprised by this one. Has some good extras here. Exclusive new 4K restoration from the original 35mm camera negative, completed for the film's 25th anniversary. Audio commentary number 1 with director William Lustig, writer Larry Cohen, and producer George G. Brownstein. Audio commentary number 2 with director William Lustig and star Isaac Hayes. Fire stunts with audio commentary by stunt coordinator Spiro Razatos. Deleted scene, gag reel, theatrical trailer, and poster and still gallery. Yeah, check that one out if you haven't seen it. Don't dismiss that one.
Yeah, no, this is one of those really those. I mean, this was out in '96. Okay, this came out in 1996, but this has got all the things you love about those '80s slashers. It really came out I feel 10 years too late. But still, it's still so good because you love those '80s slashers. And basically when there's a holiday theme, that's one of those signature slasher '80s. I'm surprised it took so long for them to come out with that.
And it doesn't take itself seriously, which is what makes it so great.
No, and it's it's one of those I think movies that you're right. A lot of people probably look at that box art, think it's so cheesy, even though they think, oh, it's kind of cool, but they'll just pass it. I remember staring at this box, and I've always wanted to see it. And we finally rented it, and I think that was in '96. I guess they were kind of transitioning at that point, almost to start going from VHS to DVDs. Anyway,
yeah, I think I got my first player in '98.
Was that right? Yeah, because I remember I had just gotten home from California in '96, and I think they started it was maybe '97, '98 was when DVDs really started coming out, because Laserdiscs were still a thing then, and I think they finally transitioned to the DVD soon after that. But yeah, I love that movie. I could watch that anytime. That's a fun one. And speaking of that, the next one, my pick of the week, is because it's one of my favorite movies of all time. I still remember when I saw the trailer for in the theater for this, I couldn't wait. I remember, I think my friend Mark and I, we saw it opening night. We were so excited for this one. And that's Fire in the Sky. And this is a Shout Factory release. I'm definitely pre-ordering this one because, like I said, it's one of my favorite movies. It says a group of men who are clearing bush for a government arrived back in town claiming that their friend was abducted by aliens. And definitely out of all the alien kind of horror movies, this is by far one of the best ones out there. Yeah, Tim, you wrote that same thing. Yeah. It's just so good. Great cast. And it was everything about it was so good. And it was, it generally had some frightening moments, if you like those scary alien kind of stuff. So it's got a new 4K restoration of the film, original camera negative, new interview with director Robert Lieberman, interview with actor D.B. Sweeney, interview with actor Robert Patrick, and these are from an interview with composer Mark Isham, and those are all from 2020, so they're recent. And photo gallery and theatrical trailers. It's not a lot of stuff, but still, it's a good quality disc and a good restoration of it, and it's one of my favorite movies, so of course I'm going to want to own that on Blu-ray.
And as far as alien abduction stories go, that's probably one of the more intriguing that I've seen in terms of trying to figure out what actually happened if it wasn't an alien abduction, what actually would have happened, because it wasn't just one person's story, it was a whole group.
Yeah, and there was some kind of realistic element to it, because it was very the performances were very seemed very natural, and I think that was what made it so cool to me.
Yeah, so to recap, the week of June 21st we had Vampire's Kiss from 1988, The Brain from Planet Arouse 1957.
Yeah.
The Cellar from 2022, The Initiation of Sarah 1978, Edge of Sanity 1989, Forced Entry 1976, my pick of the week, Uncle Sam 4K from 1997, and Brian's pick of the week, Fire in the Sky from 1993. All right, so that brings us to our final week, June 28th. Only one release this week, Brian.
Yeah, and it's not even anything on it.
I called this my reluctant pick of the week because I don't have any other choice. This is Universal Studios' Firestarter. This is the new remake they did this year. A young girl tries to understand how she mysteriously gained the power to set things on fire with her mind. We were going to do a future roundtable with this one.
Yeah, I gotta get everyone. I gotta watch this one, but I also want to watch the original again.
Yeah,
I have that really good collector's edition, so I'm gonna watch those again. We'll touch base with. I think Cone and Ken's already watched them both. I don't know if Cone watched it. We gotta get Emily, see if she's available to watch it too, and we'll get our roundtable group together.
I'll save my opinion, but you can probably guess from my reluctant pick of the week.
Yeah. I mean, you're look what you're comparing. You're comparing it to such a great original one with Drew Barrymore. It's kind of hard.
Yeah, so
had its work cut out.
I'll have to say, even though I prefer the original Pet Sematary, I really like the remake because it dared to do something different. Unfortunately, this remake, the only thing I'll say about it is it does not dare to do anything different, and that's the biggest flaw in the movie.
Yeah, you can't do that.
Yeah,
you gotta.
I mean, if you're going to remake it, make there be a point to remaking it. Otherwise, don't remake it. So, anyway.
Yeah, why? That's like that Psycho remake with Vince Vaughn.
Yeah. So anyway, that was our only issue for the week of June 28th is Firestarter from Universal Studios. So we will be back here, of course, next month for our July Discmemberment. Of course, look forward to our Summer Citation, which is starting soon. And we will see you back here next week.
Yes.